Pastor Mark Burns, we are happy to welcome you here, and this is an honor to meet you. Thank you so much for flying here to Rome, and we are happy to welcome you here in Europe once again. So we all know about your mission of spiritual diplomacy.
Yes.
Could you please share with us a little more about it, and how could you share this spiritual diplomacy here in the Vatican?
Well, first of all, I'm just want to tell ALLATRA and all of the volunteers again, the amazing work that you all do to bring peace and humanity around the world. I'm, again, spending time with your wonderful president and just the whole entire team. In every continent that I've been to, it's the same. You show nothing but love. And so for that, it means so much that we're working together to push the message of spiritual diplomacy around the world, which ultimately I think we share the same message, the same mission, which is to help end wars and bring peace to every human being, despite the color of their skin, despite their race or their culture or who they pray to or their religion. But that every human being has right to be free. And that's our mission. So spiritual diplomacy does just that. We don't carry weapons, we carry wisdom. We're able to go beyond borders. We're able to go beyond treaties in the name of faith. And so whether I'm speaking with a Hindu faith healer or a Buddhist monk or Islamic imam or Catholic priest, it's all about bringing unity and peace. We call quiet diplomacy, to do what politicians cannot do, to ultimately try to bring peace and stability in some of the most war-torn areas that are in the world. So that's what spiritual diplomacy is. It's not just about talking the talk, we actually do the work. Again, we're leaving here from the Vatican, the beautiful Vatican, Rome here, and we're heading straight to Korea. And there's a situation that's happened there. And so what Mother Moon and the injustices that are happening with the Universal Church, that's what spiritual diplomacy is all about. President Trump will be there at the same time, and we'll be there to help bring as much peace as possible. My prayer is that through partnering with ALLATRA and partnering with this amazing organization and you amazing volunteers around the world, you inspire me so much just to see the power of volunteers and the love that all of you all have for humanity, without getting a pat on the back, without getting interviewed, without being told you're doing a good job. You are the true unsung heroes that are out there. And so partnering with you all, knowing that this message is getting around the world, and Marina and the wonderful work that she's doing, I have to give her a big shout out because I get to spend time with your wonderful president and kindness that she has behind the scenes, on camera, in front of the camera. It's all about the mission. So for that, I know that as long as we continue to work, we will achieve the goal of bringing peace around the world.
Thank you so much for your words of support to all the volunteers and sharing your plans to travel around the world with your spiritual diplomacy mission. And I'd like to ask you about the World Changers Summit. What expectations do you have? It takes place in Vatican City in the Pontifical Academy of Science. Do you have special expectations from the place because it takes place in this sacred place?
Well, again, it's just interfaith. Again, special thanks to Sir Professor Androli for the invitation to doing such great event, this 10th annual World Changers Summit that is happening, as you stated, to where world leaders are coming together, world peace leaders who operate in different capacities are coming together to do just that. Talk about how we can push the ball forward, how we can continue to work together. And it is just amazing to do it at such a spiritual place of the Vatican that is one of the center places of Christianity around the world. But not just the Christian faith, all the faiths that come here and pay homage and honor to the Catholic Church, which is the largest Christian church in the world. And so to be partnering with this amazing organization, to be able to speak in such a sacred place at the Pontifical Academy of Science that's happening, it's a huge honor. And I'm just so humbled to be one of the voices that will be speaking. But again, that just shows what ALLATRA does. You guys are right at the center, the heart of bringing peace around the world, bringing world leaders together. And so this is just the beginning because we have so much we got to do. I'm excited about the event that's coming up. I know you're going to ask about that. Of course, we have the government shutdown, so we had to postpone the event to a different time. And I pray that we'll be able to get both parties together in Washington, D.C., Democrats and Republicans come together, and so we can reopen the government where, again, world leaders are coming all over the world to Capitol Hill, partnering with ALLATRA and the wonderful things you guys are doing to just bring peace. Talk about spiritual diplomacy. This wonderful pen is on my shoulder here that everybody's talking about. Everybody wants one. So you got to work, you got to do what you guys are doing. Each and every one of you are spiritual diplomats, and you deserve a spiritual diplomat pen. And so, but yeah, this is what this is all about. And to see a smile on the face, to see those who are getting treated illy, to find justice done for them, and to see doing that with one hand tied behind your back as volunteers, that's a very special thing.
Professor Andrioli also will be a speaker at the upcoming conference.
Yes, he will. Again, he accepted it. He's so excited about coming, and we have people from all over the world. Again, the professor is coming himself, and we will be presenting him with an award tomorrow. He already knows this, but we're going to give him a special award for being a special spiritual diplomat, for putting on such a great event and allowing us to be a part of it, allowing ALLATRA to be a part of it, and to give him the access to that most people don't get to spread the gospel, spread the word of truth and peace, and spread human beings coming together to do great things, to lift each other up.
Thank you so much for sharing about this. And we understand that spiritual diplomacy, it's about unity.
Yes.
What about, how do we explain this message to other people?
Well, I mean, anybody that is a person of faith and they are praying for their political leaders, regardless of the country you're part of, if you're actively praying for your spiritual or for your political leaders around the world, and you're acting that these political leaders do good by their people, to be reminded that the power they have was designed to help the people they've been assigned to lead, and not push them down, or not to lord over them, or to mistreat them with abuse of power, but to use that power to make life better. And if you are praying for whatever faith you're in, and you're one of those people who are praying actively for your political leaders, then you are a spiritual diplomat. And we want you to be a part of what we're doing, spiritualdiplomats.org, spiritualdiplomats.org. And from there, you discover how you could become a spiritual diplomat. And of course, we will make sure that you get one of these special pins that we have had made. But it's just a symbol to show the world that you are an active person that is a person of faith, but you're also politically minded to help bring peace, and to remind the elected officials that you are to use that power, not to abuse it, but to lift up people, to raise them up from the ashes, to use that power to serve them, that you have come to serve and not be served by the people you've been chosen to serve.
That's a nice message. Thank you for sharing. How do you see the future of your mission of the spiritual diplomacy, how it can develop, and how can anyone become a spiritual diplomat?
Well, I see it growing. I mean, again, we started in such a short amount of time, but we discovered almost every faith, no faith has rejected the ideal of becoming a spiritual diplomat. Not one person that I've spoken to, regardless of the faith that they are, have rejected the ideal of what we're doing. And that is creating a network of men and women of all faiths to be able to communicate where their governments cannot communicate, to go where their treaties don't allow them to go, to have conversations on both sides of the aisles, where enemies who are pointing guns at each other, where we as spiritual diplomats can go and have quiet diplomacy. And I, as a pastor, can speak to a Islamic imam and begin to have conversations through faith, and to bypass what the media, because the media is dangerous. The media is absolutely dangerous. The media is part of the problem. The media, they're one-sided. They have their own agenda, and they pit people against each other. Where those of us of faith can bypass the media and we can communicate directly with each other, and we can see what's actually being said, what's actually happening. That's exactly what happened to Ukraine. How I was able to communicate, bypassed what the media has told, the lies the media told to me, and realized what was the truth. And so as I was connecting with Jewish rabbis in Ukraine, the chief rabbi of Ukraine, and I was able to discover what was being said in the media was not what was actually happening on the ground. And so I see it growing more and more and more. They realize that politics is killing people and politics is hurting people. Whether you are from Sudan or whether you're from Somalia or whether you're from South or North Korea, it's killing people because people use the media as a weapon. But for those of us who operate in faith, those of us who operate in peace, those of us who have no agenda other than the least of them, as Paul said in the Bible, have an opportunity to rise up from the ashes. The least of them should be able to eat and have food and have shelter over their house. The least of them, regardless of their educational background, regardless of their race, their color, their creed, their religion, the least of them should have an advocate that will fight for them and allow them to live in peace and harmony. That's whom we're fighting for. And that's the majority of us. That's the heartbeat for the majority of us. A few politicians who make all the money, they don't care about the common man, the common woman around the world. They use faith and religion. They're pitting Christians against Muslims, Muslims against Christians, Christians against Jews, Jews against Muslims. And they keep us in this cycle of hatred amongst each other. When you realize most of us, if not all of us, we want the same thing. We may worship different, we may talk different, we may look different, we may practice our faith in different matters, but that's okay. But that doesn't stop us from loving each other and coming together on a common ground, which is peace, prosperity for all men and all women, bypassing the things that separate us and surround ourselves around the things that unify us. I see it continuously growing and growing and growing and growing. How can people become a spiritual diplomat? Go to spiritualdiplomats.org and you can learn everything there is about spiritual diplomacy and the wonderful work that ALLATRA is doing. I mean, we're in this thing together. This is a team effort. And so what Marina and the rest of the team, the thousands of volunteers all over the world that pushes this message of peace and love without any type of desire to get recognized. That's what this is about. Politicians, most of them, they only would do nice things just to get recognized. But we are working, regardless if we get praised or not, our reward is to see the least of them prosper around the world. And that's our goal. And so spiritualdiplomats.org, if you have a desire to operate in faith and interfaith and tolerance, and you also are praying politically, and you're politically minded, knowing that the laws of the lands could be causing injustices where you live, we want you to be a part of the Spiritual Diplomat Corps, and we want you to help spread this message around the world. But I see it growing and growing, and I believe it can grow beyond any political party around the world because people can unite in faith, right? And that's the key here.
Thank you so much for your words. And it's true that ALLATRA volunteers all over the world also basically spreading these human universal values, spreading awareness about human rights, and maybe not even realizing that we're already spiritual diplomats because we're raising awareness about these important issues.
You most definitely, listen, I'm telling every volunteer, you are now also a spiritual diplomat. So you too need to get we need to get one of these lapel pins. You wear it with pride because you're telling the rest of the world that I stand for peace, prosperity, love. I stand for religious tolerance, and I am to lift up my brother and my sister, never to push them down. If you're watching this and you're an ALLATRA volunteer, then yes, you are a spiritual diplomat.
Thank you so much for your inspiration. A few words about the events we currently attending. So the book was published by Professor Andreoli, Quantum Computing, AI, and the Future of Humanity. And how do you think how these topics could be combined when it comes to AI and moral aspects, and what role Vatican plays in this aspect?
Well, it's so important that there be a more compass when it concerns AI or the newest technology, because when there's not a more compass, then you're creating technologies that's ran by men who have no more compass, and therefore that can create corruption, or that creates lopsidedness, where you see the poor doing all the work and only the few rich getting the reward. But when there's more compass and there's more people of faith involved in AI, involved in technology, then the same technology can be used to build houses. It can be used to create greater farms. It can be used to feed people. It can be used to health care for people around the world at a very low cost. When there's people that have clear moral compass, like Professor Andrelli and others who are mixing AI. So we have to be involved. If we're not involved, again, only the few rich, corrupt men will take advantage of this type of a technology, and they will use it just to benefit them and not the rest of the world. So this is so important that we're doing this here at the Vatican, here in Rome. What is so important what the professor is doing to bring AI transcendence to a more compass mentality, where he has, fathers and people of faith on panels talking about this very thing. So if we are involved as people of faith with good morals and a good moral compass, then we get to use that technology not to destroy or to belittle man, but to raise them up.
Thank you so much for your powerful words you shared with us today, and it's truly an honor to talk to you and to collaborate and be friends with you as the ALLATRA movement. Any words you would like to wish to our viewers?
Well, again, to everybody that's watching, I'm just going to talk to you right here. To everybody that is watching, listen, this is just the beginning. Okay, there's ALLATRA by itself is already powerful. ALLATRA by itself is already magnificent. But God has brought us together to use this mouth of mine that's going to be as loud as possible to tell the whole world what God is doing as we partnering together. And so this is something exciting that's going to happen, and you are a part of it. So don't sway. I've said this before. Don't get too tired. Don't get weary, because we have more lives to save. We have more people to feed. We have more injustices to get justice. We need to get more people out of jail. And only you and you alone, no matter where you are, how small you may think you are, you're not small. You're part of the grain. We need you. And when there's a lot of grain, there's a lot of power. You may feel like you're by yourself with one piece of grain, but no, you're part of the larger piece of grain. And when you put all that grain in one bowl, we become a powerful unit. And that's what's happening right here with us partnering together. You are part of that grain, and we have a lot of evil to knock out together.